Hi, everyone, and welcome to day 6 of my 31 Horror Movies in October series. And so today we're going to take a look at a movie from the early 80s, a pretty well known one, and that is the original The Evil Dead from 1981, right here. You can see it's part of this Blu ray 2 pack. I haven't seen Evil Dead 2 yet. That's on the docket. Not for this series, but sometime soon. But yeah, this is a review on The Evil Dead from 1981. Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead, the original with Bruce Campbell. So let's just kind of get into it. This is the first time I watched this movie. It's part of my Halloween 31 horror movie series. So let's just get into it. So, The Evil Dead's a 1981 American supernatural horror film written and directed by Sam Raimi, produced by Robert Tappert, and executive produced by Raimi, Tappert, and Bruce Campbell, who also starred alongside Ellen Sandweiss. Okay, the film focuses on five college students vacationing in an isolated cabin in a remote wooded area after they find an audio tape that, when played, releases a legion of demons and spirits. Four members of the group suffer from demonic possession, forcing the fifth member, Ash Williams, played by Bruce Campbell, to survive an onslaught of increasingly gory mayhem. So the film opens five Michigan State University students: Ash Williams, his girlfriend Linda, his sister Cheryl, their friend Scott, and Scott's girlfriend Shelley, vacation at an isolated cabin in rural Tennessee. Approaching the cabin, the group notices the porch swing move on its own, but suddenly stop as Scott grabs the doorknob. While Cheryl draws a picture of a clock, the clock stops and she hears a faint demonic voice tell her to join us. Her hand becomes possessed, turns pale, and draws a picture of a book with a demonic face on its cover. Although shaken, she does not mention the incident. When the cellar trapdoor flies open during dinner, Shelley, Linda, and Cheryl remain upstairs as Ash and Scott investigate the cellar. They find the Nadaram de Monto, a Sumerian version of the Egyptian Book of the Dead, along with the archaeologist's tape recorder, and they take the items upstairs. Scott plays a tape of the incarnations that resurrect a demonic entity. Cheryl yells for Scott to turn off the tape recorder, and a tree branch breaks one of the cabin's windows. Later that evening, an agitated Cheryl goes into the woods and investigates strange noises where she is attacked and raped by demonically possessed trees. When she manages to escape and return to the cabin bruised and anguished, Ash agrees to take her back to town, only to discover that the bridge to the cabin has been destroyed. Cheryl panics as she realizes they are now trapped and the demonic entity will not let them leave. Back at the cabin, Ash listens to more of the tape, learning that the only way to kill the entity is to dismember a possessed host. As Linda and Shelley play spades, Cheryl correctly calls out the cards, succumbs to the entity, and levitates. In a raspy, demonic voice, she demands to know why they disturbed her sleep and threatens to kill everyone. She stabs Linda in the ankle with a pencil and throws Ash into a shelf. Scott knocks Cheryl into the cellar and locks her inside. So that's the gist of the movie of The Evil Dead from 1981. Um, as far as cast goes, we have Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams, Ellen Sandweiss as Cheryl Williams, Richard DeManicore as Scott, Betsy Baker as Linda, and Teresa Tilly as Shelley. So yeah, this movie is very interesting. Obviously, I've heard a lot about it over the years from people. The Evil Dead. This is a great horror movie. It really is. It's low budget, but that actually adds to the charm of the movie. So let's just go ahead and get into it, starting with the pros here. Uh, Bruce Campbell as Ash is a great lead character, and we view the movie through him basically. He plays the part really well, and actually has a really good arc throughout the movie, which we don't normally get in horror movies. But he starts out as kind of a quiet, laid back. He's not necessarily like a go getter. He's kind of the milk toast of the group, if you will. And of course, by the end of the movie, he has to fight them all off, and he becomes sort of the hero of the movie. Although he's not as much of a hero as he will be in coming sequels in this franchise, but it's still got a nice arc throughout this movie. The gore and the makeup effects are top notch. Some of the best I've seen in a horror movie. They seem very real. For such a low budget horror movie, they really do a good job where they need to, which is the effects as well as the makeup. I mean, they're really quite creepy and believable. Obviously, it has a very claustrophobic setting and an atmosphere throughout the movie. Basically, a woods, a car, a cabin. That's really all you got. That's what this whole movie takes place in, and yeah, it's really creepy, genuinely scary and intense. Once it starts, it doesn't let up. The horror doesn't let up till the very end. The viewer's really on the edge of their seat watching this movie. It's so well directed on a limited budget by Sam Raimi. And that's how you know you got a good director when they can take a low budget movie and still make it effective. And he made this movie very effective for not having a big Hollywood budget. It's got a very grainy but real feel to it, almost um, somewhat kind of like a found footage, but it's not. It's still in a movie form. It's not found footage, but it's got that very grainy, low quality to it that actually really works for this particular horror movie. The story isn't overly complicated and is subtly explained in a way that um, isn't exposition filled and doesn't slow the movie down. In other words, as the shit hits the fan basically, and the movie really takes off. You kind of know what's going on through the characters through that, but it isn't just like a let's stop all the action and sit down and explain this to the audience kind of movie, which I really appreciated. Great camera work. The camera work and the shots of this movie and the way it looks are definitely one of the biggest pros for this movie, The Evil Dead. Just the panning shots and the shots of the camera going through the woods, like from your point of view, you have the evil demonic possession point of view as it's going through the woods, and especially at the very end of the movie, there's a shot where it's heading towards Bruce Campbell character when it looks like it's all over. It's really effective camera work in this movie. The sound design's also really solid too. And that adds a lot of scariness to the movie. Just the deadite sounds, um, the possessed people are really creepy and just evil sounding. But overall, it's just a really entertaining, scary thrill ride with great gore. I mean, there is no shortage on gore in this movie from the kills and what they have to do to get through. I mean, it's as gory as it gets, and but it's an entertaining gory, not like a disturbing. Um, it's kind of over the top, I guess, but I don't know it works okay for this movie. It's very entertaining, very scary, and very gory. That's the best three words to sum it up. Um, as far as cons go, I don't have a whole lot. Um, Other than Ash, you don't really have the strongest characters here, especially before they're possessed. Uneven acting and kind of thin characters, kind of unmemorable, other than Ash, of course, who would go on to star in this series. There's clearly some technical mistakes and problem based on having a first time director. That with the combination of the low budget, small independent production that are kind of noticeable. And the movie comes off, even though it is pretty horrific at times, especially when you have the demonic possession happening, it still comes off a little bit more humorous, I feel like, than it should. Now, as the movies go on, even though I haven't seen them yet, but I've done enough research to know they do become more humorous and more tongue in cheek. But in this movie, for going for a very serious, horrific tone, it still comes off a little bit more humorous than it should. But those are kind of small nitpicks, to be honest with you. This is a fantastic horror movie, a great movie to watch around the Halloween holiday in the month of October. The Evil Dead from 1981 by Sam Raimi. It's just a very effective horror film. Like I said, the low quality, low budget, grainy feel of it really helps it out. And then when you throw in the gore and just the scariness of it. It's very effective with not an overly complex story that's explained in a way that doesn't slow anything down. So I'm going to give this movie a 9 out of 10. Honestly, a 9 out of 10 rating for it. Sam Raimi's The Evil Dead from 1981. Go ahead and comment down below, guys. Tell me if you've seen this movie, what you think of it. Um, like this video and hit the little notification bell to see as each video drops the rest of the month and beyond the month of October with my other reviews. Please subscribe to my channel to make sure you don't miss any of my great content, either my 31 horror movies the rest of October or what I got coming up in November, including a well-known television series, which we're going to take a look at. So yeah, otherwise go ahead and comment down below. But thank you for watching this video and stay tuned for day 7 coming up. But thanks for watching and stay scared. Bye.